He's got millions of fans and is one of the most talented young artists in music. Josh Groban sat down with Robin Roberts to talk about his new album, Awake Live. Here's the extended interview only here on Good Morning America Now.
Josh, it's good to see you.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Robin.
You're going to kick off our summer concert series for us.
That's right. At Bryant Park is my first time doing that, so that'll be the 16th. And today I got off easy. I was able to just come and have a nice chat. This is very nice for me.
Well, because we'll be airing this with the release of your latest CD.
That's right.
And it was shot in Salt Lake City.
It was,
right,
yeah.
and completely live. Is there a difference when it's shot live like that as opposed to being, how is it different than being in a studio?
Well, I mean, I love both processes equally. I mean, when I'm in the studio, you have the opportunity to create something that is, forever, and so you do it as many times as you need to. You twist the knobs and you press the buttons, and you really are able to explore and see how things go. When it's live, the great thing about it is it's just one time and it's done. So you can feed that energy, and you get a little more nervous about going out there. But I think those nerves are great because they kind of bring you to a place where you're not thinking about it. And sometimes things happen in the music that never would have happened if you had the chance to fix it, if that makes any sense. So when we go out and we kind of explore with these songs in front of a live audience, they change and they evolve. And so one of the best reasons for me to document and archive the tour and make a DVD is because those changes have been in full effect. And that can only happen when you have the unknown element of the live atmosphere.
Awake Live.
Yeah.
And it has
we spent so long trying to think of some clever title,
well, I like Awake.
Well, because it was the Awake tour. So we're thinking, because it was the tour for my album Awake, and we just thought, keep it simple. Big letters, get it in there. Bam.
I like it. It's a blend of some of the music that we're familiar with, and then, of course, the new music Awake.
Sure. I mean, I also think that the reason I called it Awake Live was because I felt that the tour really did more justice to the songs on Awake than the actual Awake album did. I think that getting it out there to the fans and allowing that live aspect to take full effect, it really changed the way people heard those songs. And so yeah, no, it was a tour that really mostly explored the new music, and then of course you can't go off stage without singing the stuff that is a fan favorite.
So when I look at them, everyone from teenagers to grandmas, you just run the gamut. What is it about your appeal?
I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't know. You don't really know who's out there till you go on tour, and so actually one of the songs in the DVD, during my violinist solo, I'm actually running to the back of the house, and I'm able to walk through from the very back to the stage. And it starts off being very terrifying, but it's actually really my favorite part of the show because I'm able to actually sing up close and walk through and shake hands and really see who's out there. When you're up on stage, sometimes it's just this abyss. And when I'm walking through, I'm seeing, blue-haired old ladies with, with their pierced granddaughters, and it's really cool to see that my fans are just as open-minded about music and about what's out there as I am. That what I do is not what you typically hear or see everywhere, and I think it's really gratifying for me to see that people are discovering it anyway, and that it really is all groups.
How would you describe your sound?
I always kind of tend to classify myself as a pop artist, but with classical influences. I mean, I grew up in the kind of the theater world, and I thought that acting was what I would be doing. I always played drums, I always played piano, and I always composed. I was always in my room with, in high school with synthesizers, making all sorts of creepy sounds. And so, all of those things, I didn't know what it would lead up to, but all of those things played a real role in kind of creating what I think my sound is becoming now. And so I think it's, rather than create kind of a small subgenre for something else, I would rather say that let's widen what we think of as pop music, and it is a type of pop music that I think takes from those influences.
Your parents were very cool in exposing you to different types of music and letting you sample all that.
Absolutely. My parents are great because they are very musical, very artistic, and growing up in Los Angeles, they made sure that I took full advantage of everything that came through LA, not just the bands and stuff that I wanted to go see, but they made sure I went and saw classical music. They made sure I went and saw everything from Cirque du Soleil to, all sorts of great shows. And so, so we grew up just kind of buzzed on live performance and just thinking to ourselves that this is something that we would love to do if we had the chance. But they were also very realistic, They're not in the business. So
who does Josh Groban have on his iPod?
Oh, my iPod's a mess. It's kind of scattered. I've got a lot of different stuff on there. Good question. I love rock music. One of my favorite albums of the year was the Eddie Vedder soundtrack to Into the Wild. He wrote really it was an incredible, touching story. I mean, it was one of my favorite movies of the year. But he wrote just some extraordinary songs for that movie, and I've been really listening to that a lot. I loved the new Radiohead album this year. I thought it was really good. Anything. I love to play the drums, so when I'm practicing, anything that I can listen to that has, it's really beat driven. So heavy metal, whatever. I pretty much listen to every genre. I mean, as long as somebody in the genre is creating stuff that's new and interesting, I like it. I don't really stick to one thing.
You're having yet another incredible year, but I have to tell you, my friend, when I saw you at the Grammys, your performance with Andrea Bocelli, with the tribute to Pavarotti, blew me away.
Thank you so much.
It really did. That had to be just a thrill.
It's been a year of full circle moments for sure. I mean, being able to share the stage with the great Andrea, he's been a great friend of mine and somebody that was central to the beginning of my career. Just because I was fortunate enough that he got a late flight, and I had to sing at the Grammy rehearsal, singing that song, while he was waiting to come in. Eventually, he got there. I was 17. I went back to high school, but man, almost 10 years later, to be able to stand on stage with him as kind of an equal, and to sing, sing that song with him was very emotional for me, and it was a lot of fun. And so, to add to that, to pay tribute to really one of the greatest singers of our generation was a great honor for both of us.
It was a powerful moment. It was a powerful moment.
Thank you.
You're 27 years old. I mean, do you sometimes, you talked about when you were 17-year-old. I just dawned on me, and I'm like, you're 27, a decade.
Man, it's been amazing. When I think about the things that have happened in those 10 years, it allows me to kind of do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but hopefully do it all in a smart way. And I'm having the time of my life.
Well, we always feel that way when you're here, and so we'll see you later this summer. Kicking off the tour.
I really look forward to it.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank
always
you
a pleasure.
so much, Rob.
Josh Groban's album Awake Live is out in stores today. More Good Morning America now when we come back.